There is nothing the left will not say or do to maintain power. This is about one thing and one thing only, Rebecca. This is about stealing the next election before the first ballot is even cast.
Your journey as a modern-day hero starts right now. Stand with AMAC and let's show the world the power of true heroism in action. Visit amac.us/hero to join AMAC. The time to act is now. Be the hero our country needs.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Weber. You're watching Better for America, presented by AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Now, joining me once again is the former Deputy Assistant to President Trump. He is the host of America First, and he's AMAC's good friend and contributor, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining me.
It's great to be back. Thank you, Rebecca.
Dr. Gorka, you had the unique opportunity to actually attend the disgraceful yet historic trial of President Trump. Can you tell us what the overall mood is, both inside and outside of the courtroom?
Well, outside, it's hyena's den. If you saw the clip of me with the quote-unquote journalists, it's just reminds me, takes me back to my time in the White House when the media, the mainstream media, had one mission, and that is to take down President Trump and just publish propaganda. Inside the courtroom, I'm still fulminating. I'm still enraged. This dingy courtroom where President Trump is forced to wait in an anteroom with his supporters. And then, as we witnessed, I was in the first row behind the president in that courtroom. One of the most corrupt judges in history, Juan Mirchán, who in the afternoon session, and I can back this up with witnesses, my colleagues, my friends, Lieutenant Governor of Texas was there. The former Attorney General for the President, Matt Whitaker, was there. My radio colleague, Joe Piscopo. At one point, Judge Mirchán said to the president's attorney, who was being incredibly polite during the whole day, he said, "Sit down. I'm not going to listen to you." So that's the impartiality of the judge. As A.G. Whitaker said outside during the press conference, Judge Mirchán may as well just put on the jersey of the prosecution because he's working for Joe Biden and for Alvin Bragg. This is about one thing and one thing only, Rebecca. This is about stealing the next election before the first ballot is even cast.
Yeah, just unbelievable. I do want to play this clip of you from outside the courthouse yesterday where you call Judge Mirchán for our members who have not seen it. Take a listen right here.
He is the only person who can replace the incumbent senile old man, and we know that this judge is working on behalf of the Democrats. Why are you hiding this document, Judge Mirchán? I'm going to put it on the internet today. What are you hiding, Judge Mirchán?
So, Dr. Gorka, can you tell us about the documents that you're referring to in that video?
So I was informed the morning I was in New York that there is a 40-page federal court document which has one subject, Michael Cohen, who, along with the woman who is paid to have sex on camera, is the star witness in the Alvin Bragg trial. That document lists every single crime that we know of committed by Michael Cohen, the witness for the prosecution. Not just perjury, but grand larceny, theft. We now know he admitted he stole tens of thousands of dollars from Donald Trump. He is guilty of crimes far more serious than the alleged crimes President Trump is on the stand for. And that 40-page document, which is a federal SDNY, Southern District of New York, federal court document, President Trump's team wanted to provide it as evidence in this trial. Judge Juan Mirchán suppressed it. He said, "Oh, no, you can't have that as a piece of evidence." A federal 40-page document listing all the crimes of their witness, Michael Cohen, has been suppressed. So when I got hold of it, I had my team put it online. It's on my Substack, it's on my Twitter, it's on my Facebook. Go to sebastiangorka.substack.com, go to Seb Gorka on Twitter. Read the document they don't want you to see. Why is that? Look, we know Judge Mirchán is working for the other side in contravention of New York State statute, which is explicit on the behavior of judges. Juan Mirchán has given money to Joe Biden's campaign. Juan Mirchán, a sitting state judge, has given money to anti-Trump super PACs. His daughter, right now, the head of the Authenticity Democrat Consulting Group, has raised $93 million for people like Adam Schiff, Kamala Harris, for their political campaigns. Off the trial, her father is running against my former boss, President Trump. So this is what we would see in North Korea, Venezuela, East Germany, but it's happening here in America, Rebecca.
Yeah, and the more we watch and listen, the more we do see. This certainly seems to be very much so election interference. I do want to shift gears for a moment. I want to talk about the ideologies of our main political parties because they are so far apart on the spectrum now. And that makes genuine, I think, open debate tough, perhaps, in today's world because so many want to avoid, really being challenged, especially Joe Biden. His party is looking to label him as like the decent man with a decent personality. But there was a very recent example of Biden's very mean streak. I call it a mean streak. He said he had released a video where he agrees to 2 debates with Trump. And in the clip, Biden addresses Trump directly saying, I hear you're free on Wednesdays. Now, to me, that's an apparent dig at the former president's ongoing trial in New York. And then he taunted Trump again, saying that he would bring his plane to the debate, and I plan on keeping it for another 4 years. So my question for you is, what do you think is going to come of these debates, and how damaging might these be to either Joe Biden or Donald J. Trump, in your view?
Well, look, President Trump is the master of branding, whether it's the nicknames for his opponents or whether it's, the entertaining way with which he just lives off the energy of 100,000 people come to a rally in New Jersey, of all places. So I'm looking forward to it. Will Joe Biden debate him? Probably not. I think this is a bluff, unless the Democrats want to throw him under the bus and then replace him with somebody like Gavin Newsom out of California. But to your broader point, this is the alternate reality the Democrats live in, that we've been told, oh, he's just a sweet old man. He's just like your dear old uncle. He's just like your grandfather. This is a mean, vicious son of a gun, and has been for the last 50 years in politics. Anybody who knows him, anybody who's seen him behind closed doors, knows that this is a bad man. And there's only one thing you need to know, not what he says about, go ahead, make my day, or I guess you're free on Wednesdays. Forget that trivial nastiness. Go back and watch the videos, you can see them on C-SPAN, of the Clarence Thomas hearings. What Clarence Thomas called a high-tech lynching of an uppity black man because he dared to be a conservative. Who ran that high-tech lynching? Who was the chairman of the committee that affected the destruction or the attempted destruction of a black judge because he dared to be a conservative nominee to the Supreme Court? Yes, Senator Joe Biden, the same man who called his segregationist Democrat colleagues fine gentlemen, who read eulogies for, the KKK leader, the grand wizard Robert Byrd at his funeral, and a man who said on the floor of the Senate, quote, and if you don't believe any of this stuff, please just look it up, said, and you can see the video, I don't want my children growing up in a racial jungle. A man who recently said during the presidential campaign, quote, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He is the perfect poster child for the Democrat Party. He's a bigot, he's a racist, and also he's corrupt, from everything we know from the Hunter Biden laptops that are now proven to be real. This isn't a nice old man. This is a corrupt bigot who's also clearly medically challenged if you look at his performance on the debate stage. So I'd love to see President Trump debate him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens and whether or not he does back out. I think a lot of people do think that it won't happen because Biden will back out. But speaking of debates, now you recently participated in a long debate with streamer Stephen Bunnell. This is a social democrat who advocates for progressivism and liberal policies. What were your main takeaways from that experience?
Well, then I need to control my blood pressure because the hour and a half of lies that Stephen Burnell, otherwise known modestly as Destiny, can spew out is truly stunning. Two things. You got to give him credit for debating me. This is for my friends on the Trigonometry podcast, because he's one of a handful of leftists who are actually prepared to debate conservatives. Most of them know they can't win, and so they just refuse to debate. But number two, just the utter moral decrepitude of the left. You can go to the Trigonometry podcast, you can watch it on YouTube, you can listen to the debate. I'll give one example of just how utterly immoral the left has become. My former boss, whose daughter is Jewish, whose grandkids are Jewish, who moved the embassy to Jerusalem, recognized Jerusalem as the capital city of the eternal state of Israel, that man was blamed by my interlocutor for the massacre of October the 7th. I'm sorry, Stephen Destiny Burnell, you have no soul. If you do have a soul, it is black. Why? The idea that you would blame the massacre of women and children, the greatest loss of Jewish life since the end of the show, the end of the Holocaust, on the most philo-Semitic president since the rebirth of Israel in 1948. Rebecca, it tells you one thing. There is nothing the left will not say or do to maintain power. That statement that President Trump is culpable, not the man who told all our enemies, you can do whatever you want after he surrendered Afghanistan. No. It's his predecessor, President Trump. These people have no compunction to use whatever tools needed, whether it's an armed raid on Mar-a-Lago, whether it's the use of the courts as a political weapon, or whether it's just calumny, just smears about people who love our brothers and sisters in Israel. So basically, the fact is, the conclusion is they will do anything. And it's up to all AMAC members to get engaged politically and stop them from destroying our beloved republic.
Yeah, it is hard to imagine that so many people would consider themselves really aligned with today's radical left, because it is so radical. And I don't know that I believe that there's 50% of America's population that goes along with the ideas that this liberal socialist Destiny, as he goes by, his thoughts and his beliefs. It just, to me, seems that this country, at its heart, is center right, and that we love our traditional values that made this country so great. Do you believe that the majority of the nation is aligned with common sense policies and the President Donald Trump's agenda?
I think America is fundamentally a conservative nation that is based upon common sense. But let's be honest, AMAC members, you, me, we're all freaks because we're politically interested. We're addicts to politics and culture and what's going on in Washington, D.C. Most Americans, I feel bad saying this because it's so different from my lifestyle. They're not interested in politics. Why? Because they want to live their lives. They want to make sure they can make the car payment at the end of the month, that their kid has a new pair of shoes for the new school year, which is fine, which is normal. But they need to wake up that we are on the brink of losing our nation with 8 million illegals that we know of let into the country, with 9% inflation, with gasoline 3 times as expensive as it was when we were in the White House. We're on the brink of collapse. If the Democrats get to do what they want to do, lower the voting age to 16, pack the Supreme Court, redistrict America, you can kiss the Republic goodbye. So most Americans live normal lives, and they're not very political, but they need to get political. Why? Because the other side is organized. They're organized, and they're in it for one thing. Not for America, not for God, not for family, not for country. They're in it for themselves and for the maintenance of power. And we can't let that happen in America.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you've written a terrific article posted on amac.us The title is The New MAGA Manifesto. You say here that the elite is kept in power by a complicit media which acts as a willing propaganda arm and a permanent bureaucracy of unelected and unremovable officials who believe the will of the people and the people's choice of president are irrelevant in comparison to their ideological goals. So, Dr. Gorka, what do MAGA patriots need to do?
Well, I just look at the example of my wife, who was, a normal American, wasn't interested in politics. 10 years ago, I kept telling her, get involved in politics because your character, your demeanor is much more stable, and you have low blood pressure than I do. And she said, no, that's disgusting. Why would I get involved in politics? She started off when we had a drag queen story. When we had a drag queen story out at the local library, she said, that's wrong. I can't have that happen, 2 miles from my house. So she ran for the board of the local community center. She lost. I thought that's it. She'll get back to life as normal. No, she ran again, and with 2 other God-fearing women, won that election. Then she became an election worker. Then she graduated to chief election officer for our district of Virginia. Then she was convinced to run for the chair of the GOP in our county, the biggest county in Virginia. She won by a landslide of more than 50 points. She just launched a brand new podcast, the Happy Women podcast, with one of my Salem colleagues, and then wrote a book on what the left is, next-gen Marxism. These are the 4 things my wife has done since she retired from the Heritage Foundation. Why is she doing that if she hates politics? Because she realizes it's up to us to save the republic. As that elderly woman was told by Benjamin Franklin when she asked, "What do we have, sir? What is America?" And he replied, "A republic, madam, for as long as you can keep it." Well, guess who has to protect it and keep it? Us. Donald Trump is a figure the likes of which I've never seen in my life, but he's still only one man. Don't ask him to fix it if you're not prepared to do something too. So read the article, the new MAGA manifesto at amac.us, but get engaged. If you're not politically active, if you're not running for the local school board or knocking on doors helping a candidate, I'm sorry to say you're actually working for the Democrats and Joe Biden. It's that simple. It's our republic. We need to save it.
Excellent. And just a reminder to our great listeners out there, you can easily get involved with AMAC Action. Check us out. Give us a call. Lots of information on amac.us and amacaction.org. That's a great message. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thanks again for being with me today, and I look forward to having you back with us again real soon.
Next time you should have on Katie. I highly recommend my boss.
Let's do that. That's a done deal. I look forward to meeting her. And to all of you out there today, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to tell friends and family all about AMAC. Make sure you join or renew your membership with AMAC. Gets your voice heard on Capitol Hill and both at the local and state level. Thank you all for joining us. Have a blessed day, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Kevin Sorbo. Now, many of you remember me as Hercules facing incredible odds for the world that he cherished. But today, I'm stepping into a different role. Not as a mythical hero, but as a fellow American. I'm inviting you to embark on a mission crucial to our nation's future. At this pivotal moment, America stands at a crossroads. Our unity, values, and vision for tomorrow are being tested. It might seem like the weight of the world is too heavy for one person to lift, but history shows us that it's the courage of individuals that has always illuminated the path forward. The call for heroes is more urgent than ever. Not the mythical ones, but real-life individuals like you, ready to uphold what's right, champion truth, and unite in protecting our beloved nation. This is your moment. Your journey as a modern-day hero starts right now. Stand with AMAC and let's show the world the power of true heroism in action. Visit amac.us/hero to join AMAC. Be the hero our country needs.